You're listening to RazorCast, USA's hottest podcast, bringing you cutting-edge interviews from leading industry professionals.
Hello, everyone. This is Liz Harvey coming to you from our RazorCast studios in New York City, where we are dedicated to bringing you cutting-edge interviews from many of the leading industry professionals across the U.S. In today's episode, we are speaking with Stephanie Heintzeler. Stephanie is a German-educated midwife, a U.S.-educated doula, an acupuncturist, and she is a certified lactation counselor. She is known as the New York doula. Stephanie has delivered over 1,200 babies and has experience with twins, triplets, breech babies, and water births. She also works with newborn parents in their postpartum stage and holds classes and seminars for moms and dads-to-be. With a wealth of experience and knowledge in her field, Stephanie Heintzeler is widely considered to be one of the top doulas in the country. She is also a contributing member of our National Network of Industry Professionals. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic, birth partners, things to avoid in the delivery room. Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, what is the primary role of the birth partner in the delivery room?
The primary role of the partner is to relax the mother. Everyone thinks you need to be like on her all the time or to, like do all these things, but in the end, it's really the main job is to relax the mother, shield her, keep her safe, ask questions to her, meaning making sure that she's comfortable if there's anything she needs, but at the same time, ask questions to the birth team so that she's more comfortable, or maybe the parents know what the next steps are, what's to expect. Coach her, mainly breathe with her, like really be with her, and make sure that she is in a situation where she feels safe, because if she feels safe, she will let go, and if she'll let go, then labor will progress.
Great. Okay, so do all hospitals allow birth partners in the delivery room or during a C-section delivery?
Yeah, so in New York, all the hospitals allow 2 people. So you usually most have a doula and a partner in the room. And that's a good thing because, first of all, you don't want to have the whole family in there. There's certainly,
right.
Other cities, and I've been to other births where we had like 10 people in the room, and that's too much. We sort of have a saying that the baby should come in the way it came out. The baby should come out the way it came in. I'm sorry.
Right. That makes more sense.
That makes more sense. That's right. So, and it's really something, that doesn't even happen in a hospital because there's so much staff. But in between, you really labor by yourself. You really labor with 2 people. You need 2 people to have with you in the room, because when you have a normal labor, meaning like you're aiming for vaginal birth, no matter whether it's natural or with a medication, you really need a lot of support. And someone usually needs to use the bathroom at some point. Someone needs to eat. Someone needs to maybe close the eyes and rest a little bit up when it's in the middle of the night. But the mom still needs a lot of support. So you need 2 people in there to have this, cozy and safe feeling. But if you have too many people in the room, then it's really a little bit, it can actually stall labor, and the mother cannot focus on herself and what's going on with her body. So she doesn't notice changes because she's too distracted. So in the end, it's a perfect number to have 2 people.
Okay.
And
now,
the C-section.
Oh, yeah,
the
go
C-section.
ahead.
Yeah, I nearly forgot about that. So the C-section, 1 person is allowed. So in the OR, 1 person is allowed. If there's a doula in place, then it's either the doula who will go in, so the dad waits outside for the baby. So usually babies don't stay in the OR too long because it's freezing in there, because, they try to lower germs. So it's a pretty cold room, and babies don't stay there a long time. They usually go on mom's chest for quite a while, maybe 10 minutes. But then for the last half hour of the C-section, baby goes outside in a warmer. And so sometimes the partner waits outside and greets the baby, and then sometimes, of course, most of the time, the partner is in the OR with the mother, and if there's a doula, then the doula will just come in later to help breastfeeding. That would be something, a big goal. I just actually had a mom this morning, and I was waiting, and once the baby was out, I got in the recovery room, and I helped her breastfeed, and that was really, really helpful, because in the end, it's babies, they didn't have that transition, their lungs might not be working properly, and sometimes they have trouble with blood sugar, especially when they're a little small. And when you have skin to skin, and really help with breastfeeding and stay on it, like continuously make sure that the baby's latching on and drinking well, then you can avoid a lot of problems after birth.
Okay. Now, what are the top things that a birth partner needs to avoid in the delivery room?
Let's see. I think the top things are not using a phone. I see that so often. It's crazy. Like the mom's breathing and she's working with her contractions, and then the contraction's over and she peeks at her partner, and then he or she is typing, and that's just not great. The other thing is falling asleep without saying it. Everything that just makes the mother in labor, makes her feel that the attention is not really on her. Falling asleep, the problem is really that if the partner thinks, I need some sleep now, I've been sitting here, helping you for 12 hours. First of all, you can see if there's another person who could help. Do you have another birth partner? Is there a doula? Is there a friend? Is there anyone who's sort of on call for you? But the other thing is really that if a mother is working through her contractions and the partner dozes off in between, many moms are getting pissed off, and they're not happy. And it's a different story if the partner says, I'm so sorry, honey, but is it okay? I just need to close my eyes for 20 minutes. I'll just sit over here. I'm right there. And then usually the mom's is like, okay. And if not, then, okay, we need to figure it out. The partner needs to stay awake. But it's really a big thing. The other thing is going in and out of the room, just like creating a lot of, rhythmic situation, because the mom needs a lot of rhythm. So many partners, we need to stay in the room and create this kind of flow and rhythm and not a lot of changes. Then food is always an issue in the rooms, because it's really, the mom has a very, very sensitive nose, and I notice even this for myself. It's sometimes I bring something, and I try to bring something that's not too crunchy and not too smelly and not too something, but in the end when you eat, yes, whatever you do, it does smell. So you need to be super cautious, and when you do, just eat it in another corner or eat it outside, or just announce it. I'm going to eat this now. Let me know if this is okay for you. Otherwise, I'll leave the room and, use a gum after. Because moms are often nauseous in labor, and they really, they can't handle a lot of smells. Coffee even, right? It could be some little things like that. And then, of course, if a partner is not very involved, when the mother feels that the partner doesn't step up enough. I've certainly seen births where the partner was there, absolutely present, but the mom was like, I can't do this, and I need help here, and the partner just said, you're doing it, you're doing great, and the mom was just like, how do you know?
Right.
So it's just this one sentence oftentimes doesn't help, so it can really help to just prepare beforehand and just know. I do that with couples in a prenatal visit, like what glues you together, what helps you in a tough situation, like which situations have you gone through before, whether it's an illness or, just a wedding alone. A wedding can be super stressful. So what is it that helps? Is a partner in charge? Is it just stepping up and it's like, listen, honey, this is what you wanted. We're going to get through this. I'm right here. You will very close, baby's here soon. And so something like that helps tremendously. And the other thing is just being too serious. That's sort of my biggest thing. Some partners are like dead serious, and they're really, this is all so serious and very, like, not necessarily scared, because they're not really scared all the time, but they're more like they feel with their partner. And yes, you do need to feel with her, but at the same time, you're having a baby, and it's a good thing, and every contraction is a good thing. And if a partner keeps things light, that really what makes it. I've laughed tears with partners, and moms who, you know, in the end, yes, they didn't like it too much, but at the same time, they were laughing, you know, because here they are, and they're miserable, or they're tired.
Right.
But at the same time, they know, geez, they're going to have a baby, and it's a good thing. And that's, you know, silly jokes, very good thing, very good to do.
So that leads to my next question, which is, you know, what are a couple of things that you recommend that a birth partner should do?
Yeah. So one thing is certainly be light. Don't be too serious. Stay in touch with the team. That can really help, like with the birth team, doula, obstetrician, midwife. Just be aware of what's going on. Is everything okay? Is everything on track? Is, you know, just if you see them discussing, just raise your ears and just ask what's going on. Be responsible and step up for your partner. The other thing is confidence, just being confident and helping the mother. And, of course, sometimes the partners they doubt whatever. They doubt the vaginal birth. They doubt that the mom can do it without medication. But if there's doubt, there's a nurse, a doula that can help. And I've texted back and forth sometimes with dad in labor. The mom was like breathing. And in this case, we did have the phone in our hands for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the dad just had questions. He was like, I'm really worried. Is this normal? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And she, you know, trust me, she's going to start pushing soon. And that's what happened. And then you just have a conversation without the mom noticing. So that can really help. What else? A massage, tremendous. It is just tremendous help. Everything with touch, just being with the mother physically. It doesn't necessarily need to be like the whole body and hugging and the big massage. And I usually use a lot of counter pressure and a lot of certain pressure points that help very good. But if it's just holding the hand, holding the head, holding the feet, massaging the feet, but it usually needs to be constant. Mothers need a lot of touch and physical reassurance because everything else stops. The mom stops thinking at some point. She stops asking questions. She's just in her labor, no matter if it's natural or with medication, just a little bit out of it, and that's a good thing. So if we stay on and just keep her safe physically, she'll be able to let go and have the baby.
All right. And is it helpful to take a childbirth class with your birth partner? And what topics are usually covered?
I like classes. I teach them a lot, so I love them. It's so interesting how many parents, you know, it's a birth, and you know, there's so much preparation when people do other things, like from a wedding to planning a vacation or buying a car, but then for the birth, they're like, oh, it's going to be fine, it's natural. Well, it's not, because there's nothing natural when you go to the hospital. There's a lot of things that the hospital does, from IV fluids and monitoring that they need to do. And so you want to make sure you have your birth, but with the hospital, for example, of course, when you're planning on a home birth or a birthing center birth, that's a little different, but there's still a hospital admission, there's a triage process. So things like that are being taught and told you about. Then going over a birth plan, creating a birth plan, so the couple knows options, so they know, ooh, this is what I could do. I could actually encapsulate my placenta, or maybe I want to give birth on my hands and knees, but then you need to ask your doctor if he or she is okay with that. The main thing that I taught in class is really, though, the signs of labor, so that the couple really knows what's happening. How does labor start? When do we even go to a hospital? Do we have a doula? Do we want a doula? Do we want more support? Then there's breathing techniques, comfort techniques, positioning, really nice. I mean, moms love that because, of course, we go over a lot of positions with massage, you know, so moms could stay there forever. A big thing also is interventions. There are interventions in hospitals, whether it's, you know, breaking the water artificially, whether a C-section that's necessary or not necessary, and the mom wants to wait. You know, when do you decide that? What questions could you ask? And that's important. And then little things like, you know, how can I get admitted or released from the hospital? What do I need? You know, I need a car seat in order to get out of the hospital. Do I want an epidural? So it is helpful, and mainly really for the partner, for the mother too, but she's busy. I mean, she'll just go through labor, but the partners, they need to know. And I really noticed that couples who I taught, and I do follow up with them, and usually we, they kind of 3 months later, they're like, oh, this is what happened, and this is how our birth went. And you really notice that they're like, well, thank goodness I learned about this. And I was using the breathing techniques. And then we asked a certain question. It just makes them feel more confident. And that's all it takes. It just needs confidence. And then you feel good and just know what's going to happen. And the chances that you're going to have the birth you want are much, much higher.
Okay, great. Well, this has been great advice. We know you're really busy, so I just want to thank you for all your time and help today, Stephanie.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And for our listeners across the country, if you are interested in speaking with Stephanie Heintzeler, you can either go online to www.thenewyorkdoula.com or call 917-399-2031 to schedule an appointment. And on behalf of our entire team at RazorCast, we want to thank you for listening, and we look forward to bringing you more top-quality content from our country's leading industry professionals.
You've been listening to RazorCast, USA's hottest podcast, bringing you cutting-edge interviews from leading industry professionals.